he was indisposed and he called in sick. That assertion that he didn't come because you were coming here is totally false. Secondly, all the allegations placed against him can't be substantiated, and he has the right to be able to respond to all of this. Thirdly, please let me speak. Mr. Larry Olayinka, you would let me speak. You have been speaking for so many minutes here. You will let me speak, please. And I insist on that right. Secondly, the right of reply was between...
They muted his mic. They muted his mic. They muted his mic. You can see that?
Wike and Rotimi Amaechi. And I think it's best issues like that are focused as a right of reply based on that. Not this casting of aspersions about people that are not here to speak for themselves and saying things that are not true and do not hold water. So it will be best for you to moderate yourself and speak to the issues as regards the right of reply. I am still speaking. I am still speaking. I am still speaking, Mr. Olayinka. So please, I want you to focus on the right of reply of what transpired between your boss and Amaechi. That's the focus of this issue, and not attacking people that are not here to defend themselves. That's the only decent thing to do. Go ahead.
Are you done speaking?
Go ahead, please.
Let's wait for it. Wait for it.
When your Reuben Abati was in that studio calling Wike, saying Wike was a rude person, was Wike there to defend himself?
1 point.
Was Wike there? So if he's not here, he will also hear what I'm saying and come as spokesperson to Amaechi to also defend himself. Again, Oseni Rufai, stop behaving like you know everything. You are not a spirit. The allegation I made is against Reuben Abati, not you. Listen.
No, but I have a right to speak up for my colleague. I have a right to speak up for my colleague.
You have a right. You have a right to speak for your colleague.
Yes.
But you don't have the
we
right.
are a team on this show.
You don't have a right.
We are a team.
You don't have a right. You don't have the right. You say even if you are a team, you don't have a right because we are not in the zoo. Reuben, Oseni, we are not in the zoo.
Mr. Olayinka,
So,
with due respect, maybe one of these days.
I know where he's going with this. Because this guy read Animal Anatomy. He's trying to now kind of create the premise to launch the attack. So you would see that, and then you would see the final.
You will talk about your own 20 million fraud allegations that you had to go back and forth to court for. Maybe we'll talk to that. Your own 20 million fraud allegations. Allegations against you too.
20 million allegation. I went to court. I went to court myself, and the case was struck out, dismissed. The case was dismissed. If I knew that you were going to talk about it, I will bring the court judgment. And that is why I say, so go and do a 2 or 3 weeks course in journalism so that you will know. You will not come to a TV station to begin to talk like you are a lawyer, using words like I put it to you. Like somebody is a court of law, you are doing cross-examination. I put it to you. I put it to you. This is a conversation, not an interrogation. You should also begin to act like human being that you are supposed to be. What I'm saying here is that I made allegation against Reuben Abati. Let him come and defend him. So you are not the one to say that the allegation is lying. He says it's false. It's true or not. Because you are not the person. Were you with him when he went to Wike? Were you with him in the EFCC custody? Were you with him? You were not with him now. So stop behaving like you know everything. Is it not you that you study animal anatomy that you are supposed to?
See this guy's face. Why is he smiling? Why is he smiling? I don't know, right? I mean, you should stay with your colleague. You should defend your colleague. I mean, it's quite interesting how this whole conversation devolved into personal attacks and insult, and they've been at it coming. If you've listened to the interview, I know this guy has been working extra hours for his salary that he's been paid, he's been always just at it and like giving them very odd. So I'm gonna play the remainder. This interview is online. Just watch it without entry, but I'm gonna play the remaining one. Here it's gonna devolve into personal attacks, and I mean it was just kind of wow.
You are supposed to be doing that.
What is wrong in studying animal anatomy? Okay, Mr. Can you show us your own certificate from the school you went?
Show us your own certificate.
Documentary on animal now.
The certificate is phony.
Guys said, do documentary on animals and stop talking to human beings.
What?
And let responsible person coordinate this program, not you.
What?
Not somebody who was convicted for breaking traffic offenses.
Whoa. Violation that this guy did. To me, that wasn't even the main problem that I had with him, because people do violate traffic, but it was more of the response that he had when he violated the traffic and told the policeman that they told him 3 times I was going to call the governor. I mean, that's a classic Nigeria rough street attitude.
Somebody like you come to station, you come to TV station and begin to do.
Mr. Lere Olayinka, if I may interject at this moment, we would like to have a productive.
May I
speak, Mr. Lere Olayinka?
Let me listen to you.
Please,
sister,
sir.
Let me listen to you, I beg.
Please, sir. We want to have a productive.
Okay, talk to me. Woman, talk to me.
Wow. This guy really entered into Rufai. Like, I've never seen this kind of Rufai is always having the upper hand when it comes to interrogating. And at times he's actually gone at it from the deep end. At times he's come off as very rude at times to the guests. Okay. And you've had all of these interaction with various public figures. Some of them have questioned this guy Larry. I think is not going to be having it. Now, I don't support either Wike or Reuben. An average Nigerian politician, they're just as bad as they come. But this interrogation and this so-called interview is quite interesting.
Sir,
Larry,
please,
I'm not an animal.
let's not.
And you should
retract your statement. Rufai, please. Let's not.
I'm listening to woman.
We will not allow this conversation to degenerate into personal insults, defamatory territory,
but you were in that station when Abati was calling, Wike was saying Wike was rude.
Mr. Lere Olayinka, based off.
But to be honest, Wike is rude. Honest. Let's forget about all this sentiment. To be honest, yeah, Reuben Abati is not wrong. That's Wike for you. So I don't know why this is a major issue.
Of that, on this platform, we like to discuss issues that can move the nation forward, issues that pertain to governance and that pertain to.
He's clearly not here to talk about issues.
Mr. Lere Olayinka.
Mr. Lere, let's talk about your
certificate. Let's take away.
Provide your real.
Mr. Lere Olayinka, based off. Let's stick to the subject matter.
I spent. I spent. I mean, it's quite unfortunate. I saw this coming. It's just a matter of time. Okay, you can't be going at everybody and think that one of these days someone won't come for you. It's a game. Okay, so there's no personal reservation for either of them. It's a game. So I wouldn't support either of them. Right? I wouldn't even take a side here. It's just, as far as I'm concerned, this is what news has turned to, more like a comedy show, and it's quite unfortunate, but that's what you get. Okay.
The subject matter here is around conversations, not just those that take place on this table, but in the public space. And I believe you're here to speak to some of those allegations, some of those analysis and criticism that are being posed to your principal. So, sir, devoid of attacking any person or individual, please, can you help us to unpack and give us your response in defense, in favor of your principal, not an attack on anybody who has spoken, because there has been criticism across the board. We cannot single out one individual who has critiqued your principal. So please, let's stick to the matters at hand. Your defense, sir, for your principal.
Thank you, my sister. You see, this is a conversation. You will also help me. This station, the anchor, including and yourself that you have spoken now nicely, you also help me to limit yourself to issues and stop addressing and saying on a live TV that a minister of Federal Republic of Nigeria is rude. Is hubris. You should stop using words like that on people. Until you stop using words like that, you continue to have this kind of reaction from people who come to your station. So ask me a question now.
You've been asked questions in the past and you never answered them. We told you to talk about the tiff between Rotimi Amaechi and Wike, but you never answered them. You kept on assaulting people and abusing people. Talk about the tiff. Talk about the tiff between Rotimi Amaechi and Wike. Talk about the tiff between them. Do you understand what I mean by the tiff? Talk about the tiff between them. Go ahead.
Wike said, listen. Rotimi Amaechi said on your station that it does not respond to children. And some of us look at him and laughed. Because this person that he referred to as a child was a local government chairman when he was member of House of Assembly. He was elected member of House of Assembly in Rivers State. The same way Wike was elected local government chairman. Of course, you know the difference between House of Assembly member and local government chairman. These children that he said was the Director General of his campaign in 2011. Wike was the one who led Rotimi Amaechi's campaign to re-elect him in 2011. This person that he called children, I don't relate to children, was the one in 2007 when Rotimi Amaechi ran to Ghana and was hiding under the wrapper of his wife. He was in Ghana. Wike was the one leading the charge to bring Rotimi Amaechi back as governor. When Supreme Court gave judgment that Rotimi Amaechi should be the governor of Rivers State, Amaechi was in Ghana. Who went to Ghana to go and bring him? Come home, the atmosphere is now clear. Nobody will attack you. You are now free. He could not face the fire here. He left Wike to be here to face that fire. He became governor. And he also said that, Wike has to be made a commissioner for finance, but he made him chief of staff so that he could supervise him. And I ask, so governors don't supervise commissioner for finance too? So if he had made Wike commissioner of finance.
That was a very interesting submission by Amaechi, because I don't.
For finance, it won't be the one to supervise him because commissioner for finance is autonomous. Again, let me conclude.
Yeah.
Then this same child that he said defeated him in 2015. This person defeated him in 2019. He defeated him in 2023. Since Wike and Rotimi Amaechi parted way, tell me one thing that Rotimi Amaechi has won politically. Give me one election that Rotimi Amaechi has won since Wike went his way and Amaechi went his own way. Amaechi has not won a single election since that time, showing that this person was Wike was a minister of state in Abuja. Rotimi Amaechi was governor in Rivers. Wike collected the structure of PDP from him.
Yes, sir. Mr. Alanka.
I'm with you.
All right, so just final question, Mr. Alanka. Very briefly, how does this help the residents of the FCT? For the people who are looking for housing, for the people who need access to, infrastructure, healthcare, that need jobs, and so on and so forth. How does any of this? Is your principal focused on the tasks that need to be solved in the FCT? And when we move on from all this,
the question that I want to ask you also is that how has this stopped the minister from performing his duties? The president from June 10.
Okay, Abati has now replied. He's saying that refutation on Larry Olayinka's interview on Arise TV, the morning show, Friday, June 5, 2025. Yeah. So I know Larry has asked for what? For his response. Rufai tried to step in for his boss, but that didn't go well, okay, because he brought in some personal stuff. Oh my God. See the response. See Larry Olayinka. I'm going to read this. I've never approached Minister some Wike to beg for money. That's a lie. If anyone, including an ex-partner, went to him under false pretense to solicit funds in my name, I place a clear disclaimer: such actions were not authorized by me, and Minister Wike reserves every right to call it out as fraud. So I'm gonna be waiting for Wike's team's response to this. Number one, is it true that someone actually came to you request for fun? See, again, this is what pains me the most. This is what looks ridiculous. That if actually someone had gone to Wike to beg for money because Abati was involved in corruption, it is the price of all of those things that we're paying today. I don't know if he was actually guilty as charged, but can you imagine? This guy was just a spokesman. If truly, he was actually involved, or he really siphoned money when he was a minister, that's the price of what the common man is paying today. So when you're talking about, the pain is great, the pain is ridiculous, we're suffering too much today. Yeah, the suffering actually is just been actualized today, but the suffering was meant to be since Jonathan decided to empty the treasury, and Alison Maduke, and also this guy Emefiele, they all emptied the treasuries. There's no buffer. There's no buffer to make people not go through that pain. Like many others, I was invited by the EFCC for questioning a lawful and procedural engagement. At no time was I asked to return any money. In fact, the EFCC under former chairman later apologized to me. So, again, we need the right of reply, to do that. But what is painful and also is, what does this mean? The EFCC apologized. Why didn't you sue them? Why didn't you sue the EFCC? Because number one, no matter what you say, nobody's going to read all of this that you've written. Not everybody's going to read it. Two, your name has been sold. So if you actually were invited, okay, and then you were unjustly treated, why didn't you sue the EFCC? Number four, why has the EFCC given you more of like a statement? Have they certified that, yeah, we went through everything and you're clean? Because just someone, Ibrahim Magu, the chairman, EFCC at that time apologizing to you, was that made official? Or was it just that, okay, we're sorry. What you stole is not enough, so we can't go after that? Or was it that, this was just the procedural stuff? Let's know what happened. Larry Olayinka clearly misused the word hubris. A basic dictionary reference would have sufficed. I would not indulge in further response to him directly. He's not in my peer. I await a more meaningful conversation, if any, from his principal, not his proxy. Well, he's acting on behalf of his principal, so I don't know what you're trying to say. I'm not Rotimi Amaechi's spokesman. Okay, nor do I have his phone number. This is a fabrication. Well, he just used that lightly. I mean, he wasn't saying that you were actually, but he's saying that the way you defended Rotimi Amaechi really leads to points to the fact that you might actually just leave your job and start working as a spokesman. He literally didn't say you were his official spokesperson. I think we all get what that is. Okay. Live and Legend, 550-page publication by Udu Yakubu. It was, let me see, what's this? Sorry. I was not absent from the morning show on Friday to avoid any discussion. I was engaged at the pre-scheduled book review for Offer Benson, Life and Legend, a 550-page publication by Dr. Hudu Yakubu. Okay, so Rufai said he called in sick. Well, that's a lie. Again, journalist Rufai, that's a lie. I stand firmly by everything I said regarding Minister Wike. He is a public official occupying a public office. He is and should remain subject to public scrutiny. Nobody in public service is above accountability. I agree with him 100% on this point. Okay, the fact that someone questions what you do doesn't mean that then you just devolve into some childish claim and all that, which I'm just saying. I'm not saying that Wike did that to him, but I'm just saying that Wike should be ready for criticisms. And again, Wike should also, I know Wike tends to also go towards the edge when it comes to his official, speaking engagement. That's who he is. He's a politician. On the matter of Uruji Kashamu, that's it. Oh, yeah, Kashamu, not Kashoge. It's important to state that the allegation against him were never proven in any court of law. But do you give that explanation also to Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Because according to the allegation against Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it was a settlement. But then everybody wants to claim that he was guilty of that. And he wasn't even the one involved in the drug issue. It was an associate. So do you also want to give that benefit of the doubt to Tinubu? Until his death, he was never convicted of any crime, either in Nigeria or abroad. Assisting in amplifying unproven accusation against the deceased is in poor taste and ethically questionable. Yeah, so I don't know, for this one, I mean, this was just what was like out loud there. I think it was all over the place that this guy was like, but again, I'm not going to get into this. My heartfelt appreciation goes to my diligent team, Rufai, Oseni, and Vimbai. What? I don't see Rotund and other wider crew standing tall with professionalism and poise. And to my ever supportive wife, Kikelomo, Abati, your strength remains my anchor. Okay, so that's it. He has a right of reply. We'll wait for Larry. Larry is just laughing here. I don't know. Okay. So, just like his boss. Yeah. Did you collect any money from your ex-partner to refund EFCC? Yeah, that's a good question. Did you refund EFCC? I don't know. Wow. Well, so this was them asking if he was really sick, or did he go to review a book on the ground of ailment? Now you said it was because, wow, who do we believe now? I was not upset from the morning show on Friday to avoid any discussion. I was engaged at a pre-scheduled book appointment. But Rufai said he called in sick. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Rufai. I don't know what's happening here. You see, this is an invitation or a detention. Unfortunately, it's crazy. Yeah, but that's it. I think his response is okay. To be honest, I think his response is quite okay to me. But he hasn't answered the question if he really collected money from the ex-partner. You didn't go to Wike, but did you collect money? Because your ex-partner might have gone to Wike without you knowing. That's it. Okay, so I saw this posted as saying, these are the numbers of Nigerians that have sought asylum abroad since 2001. You could say 71,000 during Obasanjo's administration. That went up. to 76,000. Well, Yar'Adua didn't use the full 8 years, so 31,000, which ranks. Buhari's administration, oh my God, 716,000. APC indeed destroyed this country. But again, let me put that into perspective. Buhari's administration in APC destroyed this country. Now, let me also put that into perspective. Jonathan's administration destroyed this country. In fact, what you saw happening at Buhari's administration was just the hangover from what began during the Jonathan's administration. And that's just true. The problem why you don't have so much of this asylum seeking, which I know that most of these asylum seeking are just people that are seeking greener pasture, but don't have the means to go get that. And then they go through the asylum process. Now, the reason why you think that Jonathan's administration was better than the Buhari administration is just because when things starts to get destroyed, the full impact is not shown until a certain period of time. So, I mean, there was no way Jonathan's administration spent like a drunken sailor. So Jonathan's administration, really, Nigeria was destroyed at that time. If you were in Nigeria at that time and you saw all that happened under Jonathan's administration, it was just a matter of time for that to spill over. The old reserve got drained. Boko Haram got expanded. And Buhari, unfortunately, had no clue as to how to resolve all these problems. So instead of putting his foot down and getting his head to work, he messed it all up further. So the degradation, the destruction that started with Jonathan just spiraled on. And then with Buhari's cluelessness, it got worsened. And that's why I see all these guys that are coming out today to talk about how, Tinubu is destroying the economy. I'm like, no, the economy was already destroyed. And you have to realize that for it to start working, you have to face the truth. And what is the truth? The truth was that, number one, there was no reserve. Number two is that we couldn't sustain our way of life any longer. So except you bite the bullet right now and make the decisions that make Nigeria to work, there's going to be a time where it was going to become devastating and people may have to queue to buy bread with a very useless currency. And don't take my words for it. That has happened in Zimbabwe. That has happened in other countries. There have been times when the situation is so bad that there was just no easy way out. So the pain that I see happening right now is actually we paying back for the recklessness between these two guys, Jonathan, and Buhari. We're getting to feel the pain right now. And after a while, I believe the foundation might be corrected. I might be wrong, but I think the foundation might be corrected. And then once that happens, you can then start talking about building on that. But without you taking that pain, which people now call T-pain, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to even do anything. So that's what it is. But unfortunately, yeah. So when you say APC destroyed Nigeria, yeah, Buhari's administration, which was the first APC government, actually did destroy the country. But that doesn't leave Jonathan out. Jonathan started the destruction, and it was quite also catastrophic. I would even say Jonathan laid the foundation for it. That's what it is. And we cannot also forget that this person was what? Was the president at some point. And what did he do? Yeah, I'm talking about Obasanjo. Guy was the president at some point. Unfortunately, he couldn't see the future. Because this guy that he put in place, Yar'Adua and Jonathan, they were not the best we could have at that time. So he couldn't lay the solid foundation. And then what happens after that? Destruction. Buhari, destruction. Let's see what Tinubu does. It's just 2 years. Brought in some reforms. The local government reforms. Is also working on other stuff like that. Infrastructure is kind of working out now. Foreign currency, that was the biggest fraud. The biggest fraud was in subsidy and in foreign exchange. Okay, foreign exchange. Those two were the biggest fraud in the system. And for me, I think Tinubu fought more corruption than all of these four people combined, because that was where the demons were sitting: subsidy and foreign exchange. And we'll see what happens. But then it's just a pain that you need to go through. If you don't go through it now, it might be very difficult to go through it just with the same level of intensity in the future, because it's going to be war. But it is what it is.
Projects will be commissioned by the president of Nigeria. Those projects were done by this FCT administration led by Wike. 17 projects. We are starting June 10, and it will go on for 17 days. Some of those 10 of those projects were personally commissioned by the president. So all this one, politics, you play it. Then your job, you do it. Politics, as you look at it, and has not in any way affected the job of the minister. And you can attest to it, okay. Except people who will not want to say the truth. He's doing his job. Okay. And it is feasible for Nigerians to see.
Okay, Mr. Lere Olayinka, thank you for your time today. You have had the platform to respond to various issues in the manner you felt best suited the situation. And I would also just like to reiterate that
Rufai wants
Dr. Abati was not...
And Wike and Amaechi. Yeah, so I don't even know if I got that correctly. So the truth about the whole thing is this. Politics is war. Politics is dangerous. Politics is deadly. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't play it, okay? For Wike and for Amaechi, I think the whole thing still boils down to political power. Because if you tell me, I would say Amaechi has been in government since the beginning of the 1999 version. How has that also benefited the common man? The same question with Wike. How has that helped the average person? I know Wike does a lot of projects in Rivers and in Abuja. Again, the people should be the judge. The people should be the judge. And to be fair, from what I'm seeing, I think Wike has delivered in terms of projects. Now, in terms of holistic development, like having a well-structured plan for the people of Rivers, that's left for the people to decide and judge. But Rivers has also been giving him, victory when it comes to elections. Again. But what Abati said, that Wike was being rude, I don't see anything wrong in that. I think he is. I think that is the right description. And I would even say, adding to that also, that at times he behaves like a tout. Well, that's what it is. And he speaks anyhow. But that being said, that doesn't qualify Amaechi to be the arbiter of truth, or to come in to say that he's now the solution. I don't see how Amaechi comes into this picture. I don't see him as a transformative figure. I don't see him as someone that really has an exemplary leadership. And now he goes out telling everybody how Nigerians are not being truthful to themselves, why Nigerians don't speak out against bad governance. But you just left the government that put Nigeria into such a classic disaster, and the country is still trying to figure out how to get out of it. You were a minister for 8 years. You were a governor for 8 years, right? So it's quite interesting to see how that would play. Okay. So in 2011, and I remember then that Wike, was really dealt with Amaechi when Amaechi was a governor. Wike was using the federal powers And yeah, it was just a period of recklessness because what Wike did to Amaechi shouldn't have been condoned at whatever point. So I'm just saying. Yeah. So it's quite interesting to see what's happening. We see the breakdown of between him and the president, then Goodluck Jonathan, how Amaechi fell out, and then he had to move over to APC. But that's just it. And we'll see what happens at the end of the day. But I don't see Amaechi having a comeback. Yeah, I don't see him having a comeback. At the end of the day, I think it's high time he leaves the scene and let people who are ready to work, people that really have the interest of people at heart, take over. But then it was a good display of emotions. It was a good a bit of fireworks and like I'll call that more of an explosion and not just an interview. But it is what it is. Yeah, on to the next one.